Hello, Queensland Storyteller time again. I'm Kim Dodsworth. Almost all the stories in our program are, not surprisingly, in prose form, but there have been a few exceptions. I've read you a bit of poetry from time to time, provided there's a good story in it. After all, that's the point of the program, the Queensland Storyteller. Last year, for example, I read you The Songs of a Sentimental Bloke by that great Australian bard, C.J. Dennis, a terrific yarn about the ordinary lives of ordinary people living in Melbourne around the turn of the last century. When it first appeared, it awoke people to the fact that the stories of some ordinary people are just as worthy of exquisite poetry as some of their wealthier cousins. Over the Christmas break, I was listening to the music show on good old Auntie ABC when the poet Matthew Arnold, 1822 to 1888, was mentioned. For sheer storytelling power, Arnold, in my view, ranks with the best. For example, his epic poem, The Forsaken Merman, which I'm going to read today. It tells the story of a mythic sea-dwelling creature in human form, a merman who falls in love with a human, land-dwelling girl, Margaret. He whisks her away to his watery kingdom where, as befits merman royalty, which he is, they live in some style. No breathing apparatus required, apparently. They have a family, and all is well until the pull of Margaret's former life on land and her devotion to her religion becomes too strong. She thereupon deserts the merman and the kids and goes back to the land. Broken-hearted, he and the kids steal up through the depths to the shore to win her back. But it's no go. Margaret won't be budged. The poem is something of a tongue-in-cheek allegory of sacred and profane love, a favourite theme of the 19th century. But Arnold was an agnostic, and it's clear his sympathies are with the merman. He portrays Margaret as thenceforth living a sterile, unhappy spinster of the parish life. Hopefully, the merman, now being free of any ties, will now meet up with a lovely, long-haired, fishy girl like Hans Christian Andersen's Little Mermaid. But Arnold doesn't tell us this. No happy ever after, but a great epic poem nevertheless. Arnold's descriptions of the sea are breathtaking. The poem starts with the merman and the kids trying to persuade, without success, the faithless Margaret to return to their watery kingdom. The singer is mezzo-soprano Elizabeth Campbell. The song, Where Corals Lie, from Sea Pictures by Edward Elgar. Come, dear children, let us away, down and away below. Now my brothers call from the bay, now the great winds shoreward blow, now the salt tides seaward flow, now the wild white horses play, champ and chafe and toss in the spray. Children dear, let us away, this way, this way. Call her once before you go, call once yet, in a voice that she will know. Margaret, Margaret. Children's voices should be dear. Call once more to a mother's ear. Children's voices wild with pain. Surely she will come again. Call her once and come away. This way, this way. Mother dear, we cannot stay. The wild white horses foam and fret. Margaret, Margaret. Come, dear children, come away down. Call no more. One last look at the white-walled town and the little grey church on the windy shore, then come down. She will not come though you call all day. Come away, come away. Children dear, was it yesterday we heard the sweet bells over the bay in the caverns where we lay, through the surf and through the swell, the far-off sound of a silver bell, sand-strewn caverns, cool and deep, where the winds are all asleep, where the spent lights quiver and gleam, where the salt weed sways in the stream, where the sea beasts ranged all round feed in the ooze of their pasture ground, where the sea snakes coil and twine, dry their mail and bask in the brine, where great whales come sailing by, sail and sail with unshut eye, round the world for ever and aye. When did music come this way? Children dear, was it yesterday? Children dear, was it yesterday, call yet once, that she went away? Once she sate with you and me on a red gold throne in the heart of the sea, and the youngest sate on her knee. She combed its bright hair, and she tended it well. When down swung the sound of the far-off bell, she sighed, she looked up through the clear green sea. She said, I must go, for my kinsfolk pray in the little grey church on the shore today. 'Twill be Easter time in the world, ah me, and I lose my poor soul, Merman, here with thee. I said, go up, dear heart, through the waves, say thy prayer, and come back to the kind sea caves. She smiled. She went up through the surf in the bay. Children dear, was it yesterday? Children dear, were we long alone? The sea grows stormy, the little ones moan. Long prayers, I said, in the world, they say. Come, I said, and we rose through the surf in the bay. We went up the beach by the sandy down, where the sea stocks bloom, to the white-walled town, through the narrow paved streets where all was still, to the little grey church on the windy hill. From the church came a murmur of folk at their prayers, but we stood without in the cold blowing airs. We climbed on the graves, on the stones worn with rains, and we gazed up the aisle through the small leaded panes. She sate by the pillar. We saw her clear. Margaret, hist, come quick, we are here. Dear heart, I said, we are long alone. The sea grows stormy, the little ones moan. But she gave me never a look, for her eyes were sealed to the holy book. Loud prays the priest, shut stands the door. Come away, children, call no more. Come away, come down, call no more. Down, 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 down to the depths of the sea. She sits at her wheel in the humming town, singing most joyfully. Hark what she sings! Oh joy, for the humming street, and the child with its toy, for the priest and the bell, and the holy well, for the wheel where I spun, and the blessed light of the sun. And so she sings her fill, singing most joyfully, till the shuttle falls from her hand, and the whizzing wheels stand still. She steals to the window and looks at the sand, and over the sand at the sea, and her eyes are set in a stare, and anon there breaks a sigh, and anon there drops a tear from a sorrow-clouded eye, and a heart sorrow-laden, a long, long sigh for the cold, strange eyes of a little mermaiden, and the gleam of her golden hair. Come away, away, children, come down. The hoarse wind blows colder, lights shine in the town. She will start from her slumber when gusts shake the door. She will hear the winds howling, will hear the waves roar. We shall see, while above us the waves roar and whirl, a ceiling of amber, a pavement of pearl, singing, here came a mortal, but faithless was she, and alone dwell for ever the kings of the sea. But, children, at midnight, when soft the winds blow, when clear falls the moonlight, when spring tides are low, when sweet airs come seaward from heaths starred with broom, and high rocks throw mildly on the blanched sands a gloom, up the still glistening beaches, up the creeks we will hie, over banks of bright seaweed the ebb tide leaves dry. We will gaze from the sandhills at the white sleeping town, at the church on the hillside, and then come back down singing, there dwells a loved one, but cruel is she. She left lonely forever the kings of the sea.